Justin Baldoni is spilling some serious tea, and it has major implications for Hollywood's most beloved couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Rumor has it, Justin's got evidence that Blake might have been stepping out on Ryan. And guess what? He's showing it all off. We're talking about a real love triangle here, and Blake might just be at the center of it. Stick around, because we're diving deep into what Justin has revealed and how this could change everything we thought we knew about the Lively-Reynolds love story. So, here's the big theory everyone's buzzing about. Blake Lively may have fallen for Justin Baldoni while they were filming together. And even though she tried to drop some subtle hints, things didn't exactly go as planned. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. People have started piecing it all together, and the breakdown of how this theory came about is honestly eye-opening. If you take a glance at Blake's past projects, she's never fully committed to an intimate scene with a co-star quite like she did with Justin. For starters, Blake reportedly requested an intimacy coordinator on set, but Justin flipped the script and revealed that she actually refused to meet with that coordinator. In fact, she took the reins on those scenes herself, meaning she had full control over how close she got to Justin. So when Blake later claimed that there wasn't a coordinator available, it raised some eyebrows. It kind of looked like she was playing the situation to her advantage, maybe even to cover up what was really going on between them. And here's another twist. Blake once said that she's not like other actors who fully transform into their roles. Many fans have always said she basically plays herself in every movie, and she sort of confirmed that in one of her past interviews.
You can't just put me in any clothes and give me any words and have me step in and transform. And I used to be very insecure about that. I used to feel like an imposter because I would watch actors who were just shapeshifters. They could do it in any circumstance. And then I realized that half of the actors that I admire most were people who were more filmmakers, or people who had to get their hands in the storytelling and the writing and the creating and the environment, and people that I respected so much. And I was like, oh, okay, there's two different categories, and I'm in this category, and that's okay. So once I started embracing that and leaning into it and not feeling embarrassed about it, I think I was able to do the best.
So, as you could hear, she's a different kind of actor compared to most in Hollywood, basically saying she's just herself on set. And well, when you bring that much of your real self into a role, things can get pretty real. Maybe a little too real. Especially if you consider the idea that she might have caught feelings for Justin. Blake does have one way she says she gets into character, though. It's all about the wardrobe. The funny thing, some of the clothes she wore in It, Ends With Us, came straight from her own closet, meaning she was basically playing a version of herself. Now, Justin's approach? Totally different. He was deep into method acting, especially for his role as Ryle, who's described as irresistibly attractive. And Blake? She's always said she's all about romance. So it's not hard to imagine that the sparks between her character and Ryle might have spilled over into real life. She even praised the author for making Lily's feelings for both Ryle and Atlas feel so complex, saying it helped her truly understand what her character was going through. Here's the thing though, for someone like Blake, married and not known for doing super steamy roles lately, stepping into such an intense, intimate part, just months after giving birth, that's bold. And honestly, it might have been a recipe for disaster. Speaking of pregnancy, an old comment from Blake has recently resurfaced, one she made back in 2023, right when filming with Justin began. Blake once commented on one of Justin's workout posts saying, "Amazing, now try it pregnant." To which Justin cheekily replied, "You win." Now doesn't that sound like more than just friendly banter? That little back and forth between Blake and Justin had people speculating hard. Some started saying that Blake always finds a way to make everything about her, like she has to be the center of attention. Others thought it was low-key flirting, her way of sliding into the conversation even when it had nothing to do with her. But Blake wasn't about to let that narrative fly. She clapped back, claiming Justin was out here making it seem like she dressed all sexy on set just to play her character. Except, plot twist, it wasn't even true. In her own interviews, Blake admitted that she was the one in charge of her wardrobe, not the costume department. So, let's not act like Justin was the one calling the shots. In fact, Justin only brought up her outfits after they leaked online, and fans started dragging them for being unflattering. And guess what? It was Blake who suggested her character wear more seductive clothing to spice things up. But it doesn't stop there. Blake even accused Justin of kissing her longer than necessary during their romantic scenes. Like, ma'am, this is a movie with plenty of steamy moments. The gag? Behind the scenes, Blake was running things. She was the one teaching Justin how to pull her in for scenes, and then later claimed he was the one sneaking in extra intimate moments. That wasn't true either. Apparently, Justin actually wanted the intimacy coordinator to help rework some of the scenes, but Blake wasn't on board. In the end, they rewrote them together, and even Blake's husband helped adjust one of them. Now, here's where it gets really messy. Blake claimed Justin barged into her trailer while she was topless and breastfeeding. Like, what? But the receipts tell a different story. First of all, how was Justin supposed to know she was pumping? Turns out Blake had invited him to her trailer to run lines. When he said he'd stop by after finishing his food, she didn't. Object. So why twist it later? Some people think she made a big deal about it afterward to get back at him for not returning the same energy she was giving on set. And here's the kicker. Blake has a bit of a history when it comes to falling. For her co-stars, just think back to her Gossip Girl days with Penn Badgley.
I understand you guys have known each other a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since you were 8?
No, 11.
No, 11. I was like,
He thinks it was less than it was. He thinks it was 8 years. It was definitely 9.
Yeah.
Years ago that we knew each other. It was very passionate, but I lost a lot of friends because of it.
Yeah.
So that was hard to deal with. But I think that it's.
They played Serena and Dan, and their on-screen love story quickly turned into a real-life romance. Blake and Penn Badgley started dating because of their undeniable chemistry on Gossip Girl, which honestly made total sense. It was their breakout. Project, they were young, and suddenly they were everywhere thanks to the show. But the fairy tale didn't last. They broke up in 2010, just 2 years before the series wrapped in 2012. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Blake fell for Ryan Reynolds while filming Green Lantern. But here's the catch. Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson at the time.
So beautiful to watch that I was just like,
Well, hello.
I was just like,
Everyone gains 10 points next to her. You go out. No, that's all you get today, though. That's it.
I know, I can't believe you.
That's it.
Like
No,
camera
just that.
compliments
Yeah,
off
no.
camera,
Yeah.
not so nice.
No, never. Never.
Gotta keep her grounded.
No, yeah, absolutely. I've seen her go into a rage spiral. Oh my God. And most people's violence with her, it's just baking.
The word on the street is that Blake and Ryan were a little too cozy for people who were supposedly just friends. Their interviews and body language, totally giving we're into each other. People definitely noticed what was going on. Their romance started during Green Lantern, and let's be honest, they were both still with other people. Someone even pointed out, wasn't he still married to Scarlett Johansson? Many believe Ryan cheated on Scarlett with Blake and eventually divorced her to be with Blake. It didn't all go down overnight, but it's pretty clear the spark was lit on that set. And history? It nearly repeated itself with Ben Affleck during The Town. Ben was still married to Jennifer Garner at the time, and the rumors were flying. Blake and Ben were allegedly a little too close for comfort. Insiders on set said they were acting like lovesick teens, which reportedly left Jennifer very worried. Oh, and let's not forget, Blake was still dating Penn Badgley during that time. Allegedly, there was some emotional affair action happening, with baked goods, flirty dates, and all the messy extras. Now, fast forward to Justin. If Blake really did catch feelings for him on set, but he didn't feel the same way, it totally tracks that she might have been hurt and wanted to flip the narrative. Some people think Blake wanted Justin to take the blame, maybe to make her husband, who's rumored to get jealous, feel better. And honestly, it's not like Blake was trying to start something serious with Justin. She probably just wanted to feel the vibe, you know? But when Justin didn't return that energy, she might have felt embarrassed and flipped the script to make it seem like he was the one chasing her. And here's where it gets really spicy. Apparently, Blake grew up getting her way. Like, her dad once bribed the choir director so she could be the lead singer. So, rejection? Not exactly something she's used to. Plus, let's be real, her life's been pretty cushy overall, and she hasn't done many projects lately because she's a busy mom of 4 with a husband who's constantly working. It's giving lonely and bored vibes. So when Blake got the chance to star in a romantic movie with a hot love interest, she jumped on it. She said before that she loves romance, so maybe she just wanted to see if she still had that spark. But when Justin didn't respond the way she expected, it's like she panicked and flipped the story. Suddenly, he was the problem. Oh, and here's the juicy part. There's a theory that Justin might have made a comment about Blake's weight. Instead of asking why he said that, she took it as a sign that he wasn't into her. That must have been a blow to her ego. And apparently, her husband wasn't happy about it either. Rumor has it, he showed up on set, scolded Justin, and even mocked him. So, was Blake just testing the waters, or was she straight up stirring the pot? Either way, the legal fallout is wild. In December 2024, Blake filed an official complaint with California's Civil Rights Department, accusing Justin and some of the production crew of harassment and retaliation. She claims the studio promised to support her, but instead left her to deal with the inappropriate behavior on her own. And Blake's not quietly complaining. She's coming for Justin. She says he and his team tried to destroy her reputation after she spoke up, launching a full-on smear campaign that left her stressed, drained, and losing out on work. CIS is airing it all out, but Justin isn't sitting back and taking it. He fired back with a $400 million countersuit, accusing Blake of defamation and civil extortion. His team insists her story doesn't hold water, and they say they've got receipts, including behind-the-scenes footage, to back it up. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, boom. Justin's team starts leaking video clips from set to defend him. Meanwhile, Blake's camp is calling it a calculated move to twist the narrative. Oh, and Justin's also suing the New York Times for $250 million, saying their coverage was biased in Blake's favor and further damaged his reputation. Now, let's talk stakes. For Blake, these accusations could totally wreck her image and tank her future in Hollywood, especially if people start doubting her version of events. And for Justin, his whole brand as a women's rights advocate is on the line. If these claims stick, his credibility could be toast. But really, this isn't just about Blake and Justin anymore. It's putting all of Hollywood's dirty laundry on blast. Harassment, accountability, and what really happens behind the scenes when things fall apart. With both sides lawyered up and ready for war, who knows how this will all end? And buckle up, because the tea still keeps coming.
Lively and Ryan Reynolds are firing back against the lawyers for Justin Baldoni, claiming that statements that are being made in the public right now are wrong and they need to be stopped. Plus, we have an official answer to Lively's complaint from Baldoni's side. What is being admitted? What is being denied? We're going to get into it all right.
So apparently, new text messages and voice memos have leaked, and they weren't even part of the original lawsuit. These are like bonus tracks on an already chaotic album. And let me tell you, they're explosive. People are even comparing Blake to Amber Heard 2.0. Oh, and get this, there's now footage from the set that allegedly contradicts what Blake claimed in her complaint. Like, what is the truth? And if that wasn't wild enough, the streets are saying Blake leaned on her famous besties, Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, to pressure Justin and Sony Pictures. Allegedly, she tried to flex her connections, threatening that if they didn't hand over the film to her, they'd lose access to her and her friends' massive followings. But apparently, that plan backfired, and now it's all coming back to haunt her. First off, we need to talk about Colleen Hoover, the author of the book this movie is based on. You might not have heard her name much in this mess, but oh, she's got a role to play. Back in 2019, Colleen sold the movie rights to her book and even handpicked Justin to play Ryle, one of the main characters. And it gets cozy. They were friends. Like, she was super involved in the scripting process and all over the promo trail with him, smiling for cameras, acting like besties. And this was supposedly after Blake's harassment claims. Already giving side-eye, right? But here's where it gets messier. After Blake Lively dropped her lawsuit against Justin, Colleen suddenly went on Instagram saying she was Team Blake. But wait for it. That happened after all those promo interviews where she and Justin were being super chummy. Like, girl, the timeline is not timelining. It's giving sus vibes. Then comes the plot twist. Justin wasn't even allowed to edit his own movie. That's when the cracks really started to show. Word is Colleen threatened not to promote the film unless she got more creative control. Like, what is even happening behind the scenes? Speaking of Blake, you know she's that girl, right? Like, she could have chemistry with a lamp and people would call it Oscar-worthy. Even Justin was hyping her up in interviews, calling her crazy talented and saying she brought so much to the film. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Blake was allegedly making moves to block Justin out of his own project. Here's where it gets shady. Blake apparently took over the editing, promotion, and marketing of the movie. And get this, she somehow turned Colleen against Justin too. Messy, messy, messy. Now, Justin never publicly dragged Blake or Colleen. He kept it classy. But behind the scenes, Colleen was reportedly texting him, hyping him up, thanking him for being generous with her input. Meanwhile, in public, she was radio silent about Justin. Like, where's that same energy? As for Blake, people are calling her a master manipulator.
I feel like more details are unraveling as we go, and they're not in your favor. Billy, I think.
I don't even like the movie.
You love it. You don't like it. You love it.
Exactly.
They're saying Blake was super hands-on with the movie, especially those intimate scenes. She had a vision for what worked and made sure everything was done her way. But then, plot twist, she flipped the script and made it sound like Justin was the problem during those very same scenes. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Whenever Justin tried to give her credit for her contributions, Blake would switch the subject, never once acknowledging his efforts. So here we are. Long story short, it feels like Blake and Colleen made their moves, and Justin's been left looking like the odd man out. The whole situation is one giant power play gone wrong and woo. It's messy with a capital M. Keep your popcorn handy because this drama, it's far from over. Nobody knows exactly how this one will end. Will they settle? Will it all get dragged out even further?